Howdy folks, here today with something a little bit different, kind of the same thing, junk removal. But today we picked up this little gem here. If you guys don't know what this is, you can probably read the back of that, a little Hobart Dishwasher. Now, somebody's saying, oh yeah, you can get some good stainless steel prices, which that is true, but not in its current state. As you see, we got some other kind of metals on here. You got some stainless back here, obviously, to prevent the rusting over time. We got some other, copper, and you got like motors down there, which are different prices for junk or for recycling. So you got some motors down here. You got a lot of stainless steel tubing. Probably maybe got some aluminum in there. I don't know. From lifting this thing, it don't feel like it's got very much aluminum because it was heavy. I want to say, like, if it ain't 1,000 pounds, it's a daggone close to it. You got some, some piping up here, plastic, as you can see up there. If I were to just take it over there as is, since I got a dump bed and dump it, that would be easy for me to do, and I could clear up space in the trailer. However, they'll give you 10 prices usually, which are, it's not nothing, but sometimes it's like around here it's about $120 per ton for 10. But I don't know, it seems like it might be worth it since it's like 30 cents a pound instead of, like, I don't know what it comes out to, like 6 cents a pound for 10. It might be, since I don't have any jobs coming up tomorrow, since it's, we're over the weekend and everything, and I kind of taking an off day. I kind of like these little projects where I'm going to take it apart because I kind of want to see how this thing, is put together, and I want to separate this stainless. So, and the motors, they're pretty heavy too. They give you a little bit, I think it's like 20 cents a pound for those. So it may be worth just taking a few bolts off to get these motors off, and then these few bolts to get some of the stainless off. And once you get the innards out of it, which we pulled a lot of it out already, I'll show you a little bit more here in a second. Once we get the innards out, we should be left with just this stainless body here. I'm sure we can take these doors off, but basically the stainless body. We might even get some copper wire. These hoses and stuff are gonna get clipped off and just thrown away. Can't do anything with that. But you'll kind of see it as we pull this thing apart. Not a rocket scientist, I didn't design this machine, but I know me a water pump when I see one. So, and this is a dishwasher, so it is to be assumed that there are going to be some water pumps on here. But this is where, so I didn't know where the layout was, but you can see by the piping and stuff, I know what this impeller looks like. And the little chamber in there that pushes the water through. In case you guys ever had a burning question of how a dishwasher works, there you go. But what the important thing is, we want to take this out so we can separate this as a clean motor. That way it's just the motor by itself. There's not any extra stuff attached to it. I'm going to take all this cork off of here. I'm going to take it down as bare bones as I can. I'm going to take all this plastic stuff off here and get us 20 cents a pound on it, because this thing's got some weight to it. I'd probably say it's maybe 30 pounds, 20 pounds, give or take a few. But we'll continue I'll snip this thing off. We'll continue taking some of these parts off. Now we're gonna work to get this guy off here. There's some bolts that are back over here. I'll spin you around so you can see it a little bit better. Pretty simple. It just looks like bolts taken off. You get this stuff off here, snip the wires, and be on our way. So we're back here on the Hobart Dishwasher. You saw in the time lapse me taking out the bolts of this plate here, right there. So I already pulled that out. The thing with this is that the support bar is in the way for me to pull it out. There is a shaft up here that goes into the body there, and it won't let me pull it out. It's attached. I got to take out whatever it's attached to in the front. A lot of these innards I've already taken out. You know, I got them kind of strewn about with some of the other trash that I picked up on another job. Got the doors off. Got some other sprayer jets over there in the back. Got to take these racks out. And then, you know, this little head unit deal with all the dials. Take that off. Then you should have like a series of bolts back here. Like I said, it's all bolts. It's just a matter of just taking out these bolts. But, you know, we'll put you on time lapse and show me taking out these series of bolts, so you don't have to sit through painstakingly and watch me take out every single bolt. Got these bolts out here, so it should theoretically pop right out. Get on this side here. Down here. Oh, that little devil right there. Missed one. All right, maybe. See what we got now. That one popped out. It's kind of holding on by these cables over here too. Kind of doing this one-handed, but yeah, that's all. It's okay. It's out. It's just it's hanging on this pipe here, and yeah, these two pipes. That's what's holding on. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these plastic pipes out of the way, so they got to come off anyway. So here we are. I got the unit up. Popped out a couple screws. Got to the main. Looks like a breaker box. Look at all those beautiful copper wires there. Love it. They'll also take the microchips. If you got them separate, they don't give you a whole lot. I mean, you got a whole truckload full of these. I mean, they recycle them because they do have some gold and platinum and stuff like that in the chips. And there's people that grind them up and kind of sloosh out all the gold out of them. But from what I've seen, that's kind of a process. But it's kind of an interesting video. They got some videos on YouTube. So basically what I'm doing, I've already taken one off. But you see that little nut, I left it on there. Use my little plumber wrench that I use on the sink, but works really well on these nuts. I already got it loose a little bit. I guess not enough by hand. Just put it on there, give it a turn, or two or three. Probably got some tension on it because it's got the weight of the box pretty much on this one nut. And as I'm loosening it, okay, there it goes. As I'm loosening it, it's putting more tension. So I'm probably just gonna cut these wires right here at the hose so I can pull these wires. That means that all these wires run through there, through those pipes, and also through those pipes. So that's a bunch of copper wire there. And they'll give you better than 10 prices for those. I mean, you can strip the wires and get more. I don't have a wire stripper, nor do I have the inclination to sit here and cut them by hand. But if you just, over here, if you turn them in with just wire that's not stripped, they give you, it's like 45% of the copper price. If you got Lomax, it's something like 60-something percent. Which is the I think that's equivalent to about 85 cents per pound. If you got a whole bunch of cords, it's definitely like, I mean, I'm talking like vacuum cords and all that stuff. You know, people throw vacuum cleaners on the side of the road. That's why you see some people coming over there cutting the cords and just taking the cord because they collect them, get a whole bucket of them. And once you got your whole bucket of them, not like a 5-gallon bucket, but like, you know, one of those regular storage tubs. I mean, you got you like 50 bucks right there. But I'm gonna work on getting this off and then pulling the tube off, getting this copper wire out of here. I'll put you on time lapse so you don't have to watch that whole process real time. All right, I think we got most of the wires clipped off that need to come off. I think this thing is ready to come out of here. We'll see. And there she is. I'll take all that copper out of there. And all the copper that runs, well, this is copper too. All the copper that runs through all those plastic pipes. I'm gonna take all that. I'm gonna have to clean this up, get the stainless steel for this box, and then get the copper price for the copper wires, or the copper wire price, 45%. Set that over there for right now, and we'll get back to it. We got that last one down, so we got both of these tubes full of wire off of there, and we're going to pull these out later on. Just kind of setting them over there for now because I'm going to have a separate session of snipping all that stuff out of there. Should be pretty easy just to pull these out of here, pull them through, discard of the plastic. It's easy to snip this off right here. And this is a little bit different than metal. Copper. I usually tell by the patina it's either brass or copper. Probably got some brass fittings. Could be wrong. I mean, it looks like copper to me. Sometimes the fittings are brass, and I kind of get those mixed up. Neither one are magnetic, so it makes it a little bit difficult to tell sometimes. All right, so while we're working on getting this motor out, so far we've gotten to this point here. Where we had taken some pieces off of there. It had a little actuator that moved this tray up and down as the thing operated. Not too important. The important thing is getting this little, we'll call it a little spindle, whatever, get it off of this shaft here. I was thinking about getting a steering wheel puller or something, pull that off of there, but then I noticed there's like a little tiny key up on top. See that little bolt looking thing? A little key. I think it'll be able to pull that shaft out of there with that. I just now noticed that, so I'm gonna work on getting that off. All right, so we got that out of there. Cut some of them looms. Had to cut it out of this box up here. So these looms came out of there. The junction box, a whole bunch of copper. Nice. Like to see that. Runs throughout there. So I'm gonna take this loom off here because this motor, it's gonna be separate. Obviously, I keep saying that. And then there's a little nut holds this wire in there, so we're going to take this panel off, and then we'll get that nut off. So within the guts here, more copper wire and that little silver nut, that's what we're going to take off. And we'll pull this loom out, and then we'll have us another electric motor, and then we'll move up to the one up top. All right, folks, this is what we got it down to so far. So far, I broke it down into two pieces. I've taken all the, the top motor and the bottom motor down, just getting that little housing off of there in that little box. Some finishing touches here. I've been hitting it up with a wire wheel, just touching it. In these places got a little crusty stuff. Just trying to get any kind of grime off there that would, keep them from giving me anything but clean prices. But sometimes it goes. Get down there, they still, even though it's not dirty, like it's not going to have other metals on it. They put it as old, dirty stainless steel. They've done that with aluminum before when I'm giving them like aluminum roofing. I'm thinking, oh, I'll get clean aluminum price because it's all aluminum, but they put old, dirty sheet aluminum, and they give me a little bit less for it. So I'm just trying to take as much of the grime and contaminants off of it as possible. Taking obviously all the innards out, and all the and I said earlier in the video, a few bolts. It's a lot of bolts. But like I said, I don't know how these things are put together. I know now what it's going to take to get this thing broken down. Just taking a couple of little pieces off of there. They're all kind of sitting right here and over here. Here in a second we'll get to those copper wires. But chipping away at it little by little. I've only been on this for about 30 minutes, and I've already managed to take that apart, take a couple other things off a wire wheel, almost all of it, minus a couple areas, little areas here and there. But I got a lot of that crust off. It's kind of sitting at the bottom over there. I soaked it in oven cleaner the night before, just to give it a little bit of fighting chance when because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time with the wire wheel. I got a 10 amp hour battery, but I don't want to be like it seems like I'd be putting too much time into it, to get those prices, and then you put too much time in it, it's not worth even cleaning up the metal. But like I said, this is gonna be a learning experience for me, to see if this work of breaking this Hobart, these kind of machines down, to their bare metal components, and trying to get clean prices and seeing what the recycle will give me for it. It's kind of a learning process with that. I'll bring you guys along with me as I finish this up and then get the final ticket at the recycling center. Took this one off finally. I'm gonna clean up that gasket material with the wire wheel. Anybody needs a twin Terpsky housing, I got a turbo housing. You'll see it on Facebook Marketplace for you in the Fort Worth area. You got another turbo housing on the other side. No, that does kind of look like it a little bit. Same kind of design, just to force that water through, so it goes through the jets fast enough. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you guys know how dishwashers work, so that's there. Gonna take that off, and just a matter of a couple bolts after that. Really, this time just a couple bolts. We've taken off a ton of bolts, as you see down here. How many bolts we've taken off? This is all from the dishwasher. They're all over the place. All right, folks, so looking here at our ticket from what we got from the recycle center. This is kind of a down and dirty. You've probably seen I kind of redacted this, just for the purposes of this video, just by folding it up a little bit, as you can see here. So you can see how we got our stainless steel clean right here, and what these numbers mean. I wouldn't worry about that 1401. That just basically they use a bigger bucket, like it's like 1,000 pounds to load all the stuff and put it on the scale. But it turned out to be 397 pounds of clean stainless steel, which got us 99.25. It ain't bad. I've had more before, but that'll work for these purposes. And we had some copper clean that came from some of the copper pipe in the back of the dishwasher. Also some brass fittings. I broke all those apart. This aluminum old sheet dirty, that's what I was talking about earlier on in the video, where sometimes they'll do old sheet dirty. And I think what that has to do is there was some aluminum backing inside where all those circuit boards and copper wires were. The tin was pretty much everything else, that I couldn't really, that wasn't really, clean, that valuable steel like brass and copper and stainless steel. 19 pounds of that. Got us $1.14. All right. And then the low grade copper wire, they usually give me 45%. They give me 35% this time because what I noticed is If you don't separate your big wires from your little wires, they'll look at the little wires and then they'll give you that price for all of your whole bundle. Usually I get more for the copper wires than that. They gave us $2.94 because we only had 9.8 pounds. Usually when I fill up like a big Gorilla box full of them, you know, sometimes it's like $40, $50 just for those. But it really depends on what kind of wire you have in there. Is it Lomex or is it just like little skinny wires, which a lot of that was that we had. Short iron had to do with some of the stuff, some of the big pipes in the back that were connected to the copper wires. So you can see for that one, we got 74 cents because we had at 100, it's just barely over 10. 10 is like 120 per ton. Short iron is 135 per ton. And some of that aluminum breakage, I had like a bowl, you know, that wasn't part of the dishwasher, but I just threw it in there, $1.77. And then they also, for the stainless steel box itself that wasn't actually broke down, that I did because it had like circuit boards and stuff attached to it, instead I just took it in there. They gave us 10 cents a pound for it. Wasn't exactly 20 cents a pound or 25 cents a pound, but they at least gave us a little bit more, 4 cents more per pound than they would have for 10. I got 284, grand total being 120 for this. Now, some of you savvy YouTube observers might notice that the electric motors are not on this one. I didn't take those this day. I took them earlier today. This one was I took yesterday, and then I took some today, and then the electric motors ended up being about $16.85 or something like that. It was like 84 pounds worth of electric motors out of that. So I mean, that's not nothing. So altogether, you get, instead of 120 for that whole dishwasher, I got 136. Now, I did some crude calculations, and I would have, if I would have just turned it in just for straight 10 prices, I added up all this right here. It was 482 pounds plus that 84 pounds worth of electric motors. That would have been 566 pounds, right? So 566 pounds worth of tin would have got me around $30, $35. So by breaking this apart, I gained $100 more than I would if I would have just taken it straight there. So the other side of this, though I gained $100 extra by breaking it down, how much did I really save? Because I spent a good 6 hours breaking this down, like steadily working fast, 6 hours. Sometimes it might take you 12. Just depends how well you can turn a wrench and how well you know how to take apart what you are. So 6 to 8 hours. I mean, if you're doing it, let's say if you're counting it as $20 an hour, I gained $100, but I spent $120 to $160 in labor. In this instance right here, it wasn't really worth breaking it down, even though it's really just the value of making the video so I could share it with you fine individuals, and for my own knowledge to see, how much worth it would it be to break down one of these pieces of equipment. So even though I would get less, it'd be more advantageous for me just to clear the space of my dumpster and just take the dishwasher over there and get the 560 pounds worth of tin out of it. Now, that doesn't always work with all metals. I mean, if that Hobart dishwasher was made out of copper, they would have been way worth it. It would have definitely been worth breaking that thing down and getting clean copper prices, because copper was at $2.80 a pound. And then or solid brass is $2.10 a pound, or aluminum. Yeah, that would have been worth it. But in this case, it wasn't worth it, like as far as the money's concerned. More of getting knowledge value out of this for me and for you guys watching this. So hopefully it helped out. And if you guys like to see this type of content and you want to see more of it, just leave some comments in the comment section. I do read those. But I did something a little bit different this time. We didn't necessarily do a junk removal. This wasn't really a job. It was just somebody that I knew that said, hey, you want to go have these on this equipment that I know over there, and we can take it to the recycle center. And I said, yeah, I'll help you out. It was a neighbor. So, and it turned out they picked, half of it got picked up before we got there, and we only got the Hobart dishwasher. So in an effort to kind of salvage the situation, I was like, well, let's make a learning opportunity out of this, If you have any situations like that, leave it in the comment section. If you'd like to see more of this type of content, let me know. I'll make some more stuff breaking things down and taking it to the recycling center. But until then, I'll see you on the next video. Like, share, and subscribe. See you later.